What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Gamer Show. I'm Operation DX, and it's that time again. We have yet another update for Kerbal Space Program, and now we're in version 0.23. If you haven't loaded up the new version of Kerbal Space Program, you may be asking, what's new in version 0.23? Well, let's go ahead and take a look around. In version 0.23, they've really restructured the whole science gathering system. You can't really do those big missions to gather 6,000 science and endlessly send back report after report after report. And that's kind of what I thought like when they made this in the first place, and now it's a little more structured. It does take a little more time to get through the whole science thing, but I think it's for the better. After you collected some science and gathered some data, you can go to this new Science Archive screen and see all the stuff that you've done so far in career mode. This new update didn't add a whole lot of gameplay elements to the game or new parts or anything like that. It was more of a under the hood kind of thing, balancing out science and making it make more kind of sense. But what they did do is give us a couple of new parts. One, this new engine here that basically switches from in-orbit flight that kind of acts like a jet engine, and then it switches when there's no oxygen to turn into a rocket motor for spaceflight, which is really, really neat. It's not exactly the most efficient engine, but it definitely makes getting your single-stage to orbit craft into orbit a more simple task. The second part they added in this new update is the lab module, and this kind of mitigates the whole science restructuring, as it will allow you to reset some of your experiments. You just got to make sure that you need to man this with 2 crewmen, because it won't work unless you do. So you need to have a pod with more than 2 crewmen so you can bring them aboard, or just load them with crew before you launch it. Some of the UI elements got an update in this build of the game, and you'll notice that it shows a bunch of new information, which I really like. Another thing that's really cool is you can now transfer fuel between parts, and you can spin around your craft without disabling the interface, and it'll keep transferring, which I absolutely love. That was definitely one of those needed things. Something else they added is Kerbals on EVA are now able to collect and store data from experimental modules, which is pretty cool, I think, and other space containers and also other EVAs. Another new feature to 0.23 is we can now tweak some surface elements on our craft. So if you just want your wings to say roll your plane and you want your elevator to just say pitch your plane, you can set those parts up to just do those things. You can also have your landing gear deployed in build mode or retracted, and it's pretty awesome that you can tinker around with a lot of the parts before you go ahead and launch your craft. So this new update isn't a huge one, but it does add some interesting and cool new parts, and it does a lot of the stuff that was kind of needed, especially with the science. It definitely needed to be rebalanced, as doing those missions and pretty much gathering 90% of the science you need to unlock most of the parts is kind of not cool, so it's good that they adjusted that. I say this every time, but I'm still really hanging on to hoping that they're going to release the resource patch sometime soon. Anyways, this has been my look at version 0.23. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a great day and take care.